Are you lost? Let's say you're looking for a particular book in your university library. How will you be able to find it? It feels like we're investigating to locate the material that you're looking for. It can feel overwhelming as you don't know where to start, but sections in the academic library help keep the books organized. Where do you start? Where do you need to go? In this lesson, you will find out. Let us know the academic library sections. After studying this lesson, the students, or you, will be able to know the academic library as a system with various sections, list the various sections of an academic library, explain the functioning of various sections of an academic library, and lastly, consider important observation of the various sections of an academic library. Before anything else, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Francesca. Cheska for short, a third-year LIS student of Silliman University. Now, I'm sure that you may already know what is an academic library. But an academic library can be of the following. First, a library associated with a college or university that supports the institution's mission and the research needs of its faculty, staff, and students. Second, a library or library system in an institution of higher education. The institution can be of any size, whether school, college, university, public, or private. The library consists of a physical building or buildings and a virtual presence organized through its website. Let us understand the academic library as a system. You must have seen various political, economic, social, and educational systems. Humans are a biological system with many subsystems, such as the digestive system, circulatory system, respiratory system, etc. What is a system? A system is composed of interconnected pieces or components that are interdependent and impact one another. The said entities are integrated to serve definite purposes and objectives. As a result, an academic library is also a system with its many sections or departments, serving as its elements. Why are there library sections? What is the need for library sections? The purpose of the academic library sections is to support and promote the mission, goals, and focus of the school, college, or university within the area of academic libraries. How can we sort the sections? The library work is divided into various sections based on each specialization. Let us know about the functions of the academic library's sections. Very generally, all academic libraries break down into the following: circulation, acquisition, reference, reserve, cataloging and classification, technical services or technical processing, periodicals or serials, maintenance, administration and finance, and computer or information technology or e-library section. Up first is the circulation section. The circulation, or lending section, is one of the most strategic and sensitive sections of the library. Circulation is the process of checking out material, accepting returns, and maintaining the stacks. This section is mainly responsible for the circulation of documents to the users of the library. This section acts as a bridge between users and books. This section performs the following tasks: membership registration, issue or return, reserve or renewal, issue no dues certificate, overdue fine collection, and lastly, alert services, such as overdue, collect notice, etc. Next is the acquisition section. It is the process of finding and purchasing material. In this section, every library has to build up a collection of information sources or knowledge containers. These may be in print or non-print or electronic formats. Functions of the acquisition section include selection, ordering, receiving supplies, making record entries in the stock register, accessioning, and processing the bills for payment. Acquisition of library material has three main check controls, namely, first, availability of library funds, second, use of reading material, and third, need of library users. The unit is also very significant to the library because of the following functions: acquiring of information materials, preparing of ordering slip, bibliographical checking or verification, carding, receipt of materials in the library, and accessioning. Next is the reference section. It is the outreach, teaching, and aid in using the systems and resources in the collection. Reference section collects and organizes several reference books. A reference book is not read like a textbook from beginning to end. You refer to a reference book to know the answer to your specific query. This may pertain to a word, term, person, place, concept, or subject. You need to consult a dictionary, thesaurus, directory, yearbook, encyclopedia, or such other type. The reference librarian is expected to provide the right information to the right person at the right time. We also have a reserve section. A book becomes reserved when a faculty member requests it to be put on reserve, as this is the designated textbook for his particular subject. The reserve collection is a section of the library where faculty can place high-demand items, typically required course readings, to ensure those items are highly accessible to students. Reserve items usually have a checkout time of 2 hours and do not leave the library building. Next, we have the cataloging, or also known as the cataloging and classification section. Cataloging is the process and procedures for describing the content in the collection. It is also the process of listing something for inclusion in a catalog. On the other hand, classification is the process of classifying books and other information materials according to their subject area. The cataloging section takes care of getting the library materials ready for use by the library patrons by processing, cataloging, and classifying the materials. This section is out-of-bound to non-library staff. The activities in this section are mostly considered to be highly professionalized, such as preliminary cataloging, proper classification and cataloging, and book processing. Next is the technical services, or technical processing section. In this section, the newly acquired books are prepared for library use. For this purpose, these are classified, cataloged, entries filed in the library catalog, and books shelved on display racks or in the stacks. As a visitor to the library, you may not be familiar with such functions in a library, because these are performed behind the scene. This section acts as a bridge between the acquisition and circulation section. The periodicals section, this collects and organizes several periodical publications such as a journal, magazine, or newspaper. This section is mainly responsible for the procurement of print journals and e-resources. The serials section also contains current and back issues of foreign and local journals, magazines, newspapers, special collections. At any stage where new knowledge is being debated, readers of periodicals are the beneficiaries of new knowledge, especially in the sciences. Up next is the maintenance section. Maintenance work is the backbone of any object, structure, organization, institution, and so much so in an academic library. The maintenance section is responsible for organizing collection, shelving and reshelving, dusting and cleaning, mending and binding, weeding, and stock verification. Much of the work done in the maintenance section is behind the scenes, which helps keep the collection alive and presentable for maximum use. We also have the administration and finance section. The purpose of the administration section is to promote activities related to library administration and management issues in general. The section is intended to serve the needs of library staff, especially those who supervise other staff. It helps manage operations of other sections of the library. This section holds the records of office files, diary and dispatch, library budget proposals, budgetary allocations, accounts of library expenditure, stock registers, and other purposeful records. And our last general section, computer section or information technology section, or e-library section. An electronic library, or digital library, is a focused collection of digital objects that can include text, visual material, audio material, video material stored as electronic media formats. This includes organizing, storing, and retrieving the files and media contained in the library collection. To improve productivity and increase the efficiency of information control and dissemination, relevant ICT facilities, such as computers, internet connectivity, etc., are adequately provided. In this section, library users have access to a wide variety of electronic resources to get information to assist them in their academic research. Now, you know the general sections, or the common sections found in an academic library, but wait. There's more. In addition, as larger academic libraries have more library staff and units, large academic libraries usually include the following. There is a special collection, a local collection, and archives in most large academic libraries. Let's differentiate the three. First, special collections are fragile and valuable material, kept for historical research purposes. The special collection contains books that are considered rare either because of dates of publication, formats, or other qualities. The collection is solely for reference purposes. Such items cannot be borrowed. Second, stored in the local section of the library are materials on the locality, including the local history. In addition, rare books, manuscript collections, catalogs, photographs, and posters on the subjects will be collected and stored in this library area. Third, archives are the historical material kept in different arrangements with more restrictive access requirements, often for legal and historical research purposes. Archives can be a separate department or section. Here are some of the examples. Next, we have Reader Services, Children Library section, and Textbook section. The Reader Services section Establishes direct contact with library users. It takes custody of materials that have been processed in the Technical Services Division and makes them available to users in an organized and controlled system. Moreover, the section provides resources to the library patrons for home reading. Children Library section is mainly used by the children of the employees of the academic library. Textbook section only manages textbooks in different stacks of the library, subject-wise. Here are some of the examples. Some academic libraries also have a fiction section, graduate school section, and a thesis section. The fiction section includes a variety of well-selected stories and novels available for recreational reading, written by famous local and foreign authors. This graduate school section contains a collection of theses and dissertations, including books for graduate school. The thesis section presents the author's research findings. Here, the collection is submitted for candidature for an academic degree or professional qualification. Here are some of the examples. Some academic libraries also have sections like the newspaper section, bound volumes section, and the reprographics section. The newspaper section is mainly responsible for the management of newspapers subscribed to by the academic library. Bound volumes section is the section that maintains the bound volume of back issues from the periodical section. Once a volume is no longer current, the library gathers up the issue in that volume and binds them together. The reprographics section provides the facilities of photocopying, printing, lamination, spiral binding, and passport-size photograph. Here are some of the examples. Along with the previous three, you can also find these sections in most large libraries. The establishment section. It is responsible for handling routine administrative works such as the correspondence of receipts and dispatch works, bill processing, keeping records of various administrative activities, etc. The back volume section. It is mainly responsible for the management of the back volume of journals, and the visually impaired section. The academic library has created a separate section named Visually Impaired Section, particularly for visually impaired users. This section provides equipment and services that help visually impaired users read and write through the Braille keyboard. Here are some of the examples. The following are relatively new sections, mostly found in university libraries. We have the Computer Application Division. This section is mainly responsible for the management of the following: library website, design development, library automation networking, digital repositories, library servers, article request portal and CD library catalog, e-news, newly arrived print journals, newly arrived books, library e-newsletter, user orientation program, liaisons, and last but not the least, reference service and research support service. Next is the Digital Resource Center. The users mainly use this section for accessing the e-resources of the library. Then, we have the World Bank Knowledge for Development Center, or KDC. The KDC is an easily accessible and dedicated area for exclusive World Bank publications, reports, documents, and other materials. Users can easily and freely access a wealth of information through the internet and over 3,000 World Bank publications, and special books and documents by other academic and development institutions. The KDC is also an accessible center for people with disabilities. Here are some of the examples. We are now nearing towards the end of the various academic sections in the library. We have the KDC. We also have the American Shelf. This is a small compendium of an American Studies core collection and updated information on the United States. That includes pamphlets and brochures, electronic journals, maps, paper shows, and other informative materials. The last section that is found in Philippine academic libraries is the Filipiniana section. This section houses and circulates all publications about the Philippines, regardless of author, in print or format, except works written by Filipino treating universally accepted ideas such as statistics, mathematics, physics, etc. Here are some of the examples. What a list! Academic libraries, indeed, supports the research needs of their users. From common or general sections that can be found from school libraries to university libraries, there are also sections that are specialized to serve different users and for different purposes. Now that you know all the sections, can you list all of them? Circulation section, acquisition section, reference section, reserve section, cataloging or cataloging and classification section, technical services or technical processing section, periodicals or serials section, maintenance section, administration and finance section, computer section or information technology section or e-library section, special collection, local collection, archives, reader services, children library section, textbook section, fiction section, graduate school section, thesis section, newspaper section, bound volume section, reprographic section, establishment section, back volume section, visually impaired section, computer application division, digital resource center, World Bank Knowledge for Development Center or KDC, the American Shelf, Filipiniana section. You may have realized that some sections are basically similar in nature. Whether it may be called a periodicals sections or serials section, for example, will depend on the purpose, mission, and goal that the academic library is trying to meet. It's important to realize that in a large library, the operation of all of the above sections is evident. Moreover, as part of specialized library work or services, a large library may have additional sections, such as children's section, audiovisual section, computer section, etc. However, such sections are not evident in a small library, such as a school library, even if a librarian's activities are undertaken only. It doesn't matter how many resources you have. If you don't know where to find them, it will never be enough. We should know what resources or things we have. We should know how and where to use it. As Albert Einstein said, the only thing that you absolutely have to know is the location of the library. Thank you so much for listening. You can now explore an academic library and see what it has to offer. Do you have any questions or clarifications? If so, you can also message me via email. Here are my references.